What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream for Wednesday's 9-game main slate. James, we had a nice little 4-gamer yesterday. Wasn't too bad. We had some really good games. We had some dud performances of players that we thought would be pretty good. James Harden, i.e. 6 points for James Harden last night. Absolutely tough. I was cashing in an underdog tournament with James Harden. I'm like, oh, like, this is automatic. I'm already cashing. Can't not cash with James Harden the way he's playing. No, Jokic goes off. Embiid goes off. Everybody in the late slate goes off with the exception of James Harden.
And Dame goes off in that late slate.
Yeah, and I fall out of the cash line. Pretty big sad because I had pretty much everybody was 40-plus fantasy points for me going into that last game, and he got me like 10. So
yeah, I was in the prop world with you last night, John, and I hit my Kawhi free throw prop.
Yeah.
I hit my Tobias Harris points, rebounds, assist prop. You know what I played? The third prop, John?
2.5 threes for James?
No, but I played points.
Points.
And his points were 20.5, and he needed
Prize Picks taco play of the day. James Harden down.
I should have known.
So I should have known. That was what killed me. Is I placed my play earlier in the day at 2.5 threes. And then they put out the taco play of James Harden at 16.5 points. Do you know how much money Prize Picks made last night on people playing the 16.5 points?
And that's the kicker, right? Isn't there's discourse about Prize Picks.
The jinx.
Obviously the fixed community is the fixed community, and you can't do anything about it, but that happens all the time with the taco plays, right?
Usually, yeah. There was a good stretch where the taco play was the worst play you could possibly make. Yesterday was again one of those days.
I just almost spit my coffee out.
Yeah. That was 16.5 points. He scored six. Took 2 shots in the first half. Didn't make any sense. Anyways, we'll turn our page to Wednesday. 9 games here. Luke is on the slate. LeBron, Jokic on a back-to-back against Minnesota. Sabonis, Kawhi on a back-to-back. Paul George already ruled out. John Morant, Julius Randle, SGA. Those are all of your 10K players. We've gone slates where there's been like 1, 2 $10,000 players. I mean, this is a pretty loaded slate for top tier guys. I'm hopeful we'll find some good value tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty loaded for Vegas totals too, and I think we have a slate high or season high here at open. Lakers Kings 245 at open.
Yeah, that's close. We've had 243, 244, I think. Yeah, that's up there. That is up there for sure. We don't have AD back yet, right?
No, but that also could change middle of day, you know.
Yeah. Expected to resume running on the court this week. That
early
was 2
February.
days ago. All right. Well, I guess not. I guess he'll be out another couple of weeks.
That's a little different than what we had heard last time.
When they said he could be back by like the end of the week. All right, so we have LeBron questionable. The rough thing with LBJ, of course, is the fact that they're always this 10 o'clock game. He's always questionable. So Luka against Atlanta, of course, that trade revenge scenario there with him and Trae Young on draft day, like, 5 years ago now, it seems like?
It is it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. So pretty stacked slate. Any other high totals or maybe totals we should be avoiding today?
Definitely high totals. Indiana OKC opened at 241. That has been bet down to 239 since, but still huge. Denver on the second leg of a back-to-back at home, 8-point favorites, 236.5 in that Minnesota game. Jokic, well on his way to another MVP. If they keep winning, I guess
played his points plus rebounds last night. It was 20.5. He had 22.
He did that with points. Wait, points plus rebounds, right? He did.
No, I did. I did rebounds and assists. Rebounds plus assists were 20.5.
I was gonna say because points, he just did that alone.
No. Rebounds plus assists were at 20.5.
Houston, Charlotte, the battle of the worst record. They'll officially be the worst record in the NBA. The loser of this game. 238, despite how bad both those teams are. 234 in Dallas, Atlanta. Dallas 2.5-point favorites at home. They're 16-6 at home. But that's about it. Nothing we should really avoid. Miami, New Orleans, slate low 219.5, but ready to rock.
Okay. Luka is your point guard here. 12-4, top price guy. Probable to play. Obviously tough game against Portland the other night, but he had 80 and 72 the 2 games prior here. First game going up against Atlanta this season. He's at home where we've liked him. He's averaging a few more fantasy points at home, but shooting a lot better, 51% from the floor at home this season here. He's just again, 9-game slate, a couple of studs here today. Certainly a guy you can build your lineups around. After that, though, I mean, listen, I haven't been playing any John Morant. I know we always say he's viable. He's just not really, he's not really paying it off. He's had more 40 fantasy point games than 50 fantasy point games in the last 10. So, against Cleveland, no Donovan Mitchell today. So, I mean, again, if you think that this is a spot for Ja, go for it. It's worth noting that a lot of those performances are coming because they're winning in blowouts, right?
They're 10 games. Yeah, they've won 10 in a row. And
46
teams
fantasy
out.
points in 27, 44 and 25, 40 and 27. Like, the guy doesn't have to play 38 minutes. Maybe against Cleveland, who's a good enough team, he'll push them to 38 and he gets there. But not a good spot for guards this season going up against Cleveland. SGA's at 10K against the Pacers here. I think we'll we like the spot, but the way Giddey has been playing lately, again, it's been cutting down on some of the secondary stats for Gilgeous-Alexander here to help him give him that ceiling. He did have 62 against Philly, but 47-42 at a 10K price tag again is not quite what we're looking for there.
Right.
Your chalk of the slate, as long as he doesn't fall out, probably LaMelo at this price. Going up against Houston, right? I mean, it's a great spot for him here.
Yeah, it's a tremendous spot. I agree on SGA. I think definitely in playing tournaments. I agree on your job point as well. Definitely in playing tournaments. They're just so good that they're just blowing everybody out. Love LaMelo, as you mentioned. Probably the chalkiest of this tier, which does appeal a little bit to everyone else. But yeah, hard not to get to a team or a guy that's giving you basically 50 as a floor and gets one of the worst defenses in basketball. So love him. Not going to get the Trey against Dallas, so don't even ask.
Yeah, I'm not going to do Trey. I don't like McCollum. I mean, it's a tough spot against Miami. So
yeah.
He's been good lately. 2 games, he's shot poorly. Still no Zion. His usage rate's through the roof, but again, not my favorite spot at 9K. Westbrook's too expensive at 9K. I know how good he's playing. But,
what if LeBron doesn't play?
Well,
I know
you're not going to know that at roster lock, though. So.
I know. I will say, like, there's 2 really good games at 10 o'clock or later, like Denver, Minnesota, Sacramento, LA. Like, if you're
going to leave the spots open?
Like, not just I say this in our Discord, and I'll just be quick about it. You need to have a plan if you're going to do stuff like this. You can never assume somebody is out. I say this in Discord all the time. Like, yes, there are indications, but like last night, Jamal Murray was listed questionable in the day, never like a downgrade, but then he played, right? Yeah. It's usually an inclination that they're going to sit, but that's not always the case. Have a plan. Okay, if this happens, I'm going to play this group of people. If this happens, I'm going to play this group of people. So, build in both scenarios, because Westbrook without LeBron against the Kings in a 245 total could break the slate. Mm-hmm. Then again, LeBron's questionable every slate and has typically played. So,
and we were playing Westbrook when he was $7,500. Now and I'd be okay with if LeBron plays, great value, $7,500. If he does play, you can still play Westbrook. If LeBron plays Westbrook at 9K,
hard to pay off.
Yeah, hard to get there when LaMelo Ball is just $600 more, right? You can figure that one out.
I know, I completely agree. But again, if the off chance that LeBron does sit and is human for like one night, I need a break, or like my ankle's messed up.
Right. It's why we say leave your late slate for your forward guard utility, so you have the extra flexibility.
Yep.
Don't lock those guys into your positional spots. Under 9K, you got Brunson at 85 here against Washington. He keeps just playing ridiculously well. He just went for 61 fantasy points a few games back against the Wizards here. I think Barrett did he return for that game? Was that Barrett's return game?
Yes.
Barrett. So that was the second game Barrett was back. So even with Barrett, we saw Brunson go for 61 fantasy points in this spot. So again, great. Legit. Fox, you want to talk about late night exposure here in that game total? Again, last couple of slates, not great. 28, 38, 26. You expect more out of him here, but he's averaging 49 in 3 games against the Lakers. So, and the price is good. You're not paying 9K for him anymore. You're paying 83. So, a nice little value there. And then what do you do with Garland here, right? I mean, great price. no Mitchell we're expecting, but Memphis is just really tough. You know, they just win, right? So
they're so good.
Is Cleveland good enough to stay competitive in this game? They could be, and if they are, Garland is in a great spot here.
Yeah, I mean that's like you said. I think Memphis is
What's the spread on
really
this game?
good. The spread on this game is 7.5.
Okay.
It opened at 224.5. It's been bet up to 228.5 already. So, look, like you just said, we're using Garland in tournaments if you think the game can stay close, and that's what it comes down to. Because we just saw it. He has.
They
50,
do at least
60.
have Karis LeVert to fill in for Donovan Mitchell, so it's not like
I think Cleveland's good. No,
yeah.
dude, they're good. They're a very good team. Like with or without Donovan Mitchell, like I think, like if this team went
bump today,
maybe I don't think it would be significant, but like.
Yeah.
If you take Donovan Mitchell out for the year, Cleveland's a playoff team in the East,
probably,
right? Like,
yeah.
Not like a contending team like they are with Mitchell, but I think that they're
Garland, LeVert, Allen, Mobley certainly good enough to be a playoff team.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Kevin Love still off the bench. Rubio eventually off the bench. Like they have guys. I think they're like a very good team. Memphis is also
they're a Buddy Hield small forward away. You know.
Yeah. Have a Lauri Markkanen small forward away. I wonder if they could have used him this year, but yeah, I mean, Memphis is also like the juggernaut of the West. Them and Denver are winning every game and just pulling away from the pack. So it's like, do you think they're good enough? That's your determination on Darius Garland. If you think Cleveland can stay close in Memphis, they're going to be getting grittied on, danced on. Like, can they maintain their composure when Ja hits the roof in the stadium when he goes up for a dunk on someone's head?
Right. Tyler Hero at a big price drop, $7,300 for Tyler Hero. The guy was $9K for a bit, and then he was high $8Ks. One slate, all it takes, and he's down to $7,300 here. I'd be willing to take some shots here. Kyle Lowry could be back. He's only listed as questionable today. But we play Hero anyways, most slates. So, or we consider Hero most slates, but this price point for him, I mean, when was the last time he was this cheap? He was the December 6th. He was $7,200.
There's some interesting pricing here, John.
That's what I'm saying, right? Anybody else you see that's kind of
Jamal Murray? If he plays $6,500,
yeah.
He hasn't been that cheap in
$1,000 price drop from yesterday.
And he had 40, and he did or he didn't play the last back-to-back. I thought he did play the last.
Yeah, he played the last back-to-back.
Or
he played a back-to-back recently, didn't he?
He played a back-to-back. If the 6th and the 5th.
5 and 6, yep.
If he's gonna play, I don't hate that. TJ McConnell.
Yeah, I mean that guy's breaking slates. So.
He's just really
We've always said it about McConnell. Great fantasy point per player guy, gets on the floor, gets you a lot of steals, but teams just like him as their backup. So
he's going to be incredibly popular.
Yep.
And obviously the pivot is Nembhard, but Nembhard hasn't been like the fill-in boom guy that we saw.
McConnell's taken over for it. So.
Yeah, McConnell's taken over, but Nembhard's still playing good minutes, so if you want to go there, you can go there too. But McConnell's going to be the chalk here, 5,500 for sure.
Yep. They gave Jalen Williams some shoot-pop point guard eligibility now.
Yeah, he's been a couple slates. Yeah, it's been fun.
Obviously, if there is no Murray, Bones at 48, great spot here against them. Sexton off the bench played another 26 minutes. You liked it. I was a little nervous, but I mean 24, 26 minutes of back-to-back games, 26 and 28 fantasy points for Colin Sexton. So I don't mind that value on today's slate here. You liked Alvarado against Cleveland, and he played 34 minutes in that game and gave you 27 fantasy points. Would you run Alvarado here against Miami?
Yeah, I mean, I think that his case to be on the floor is dependent on the other team. Like, look what Miami has too. They potentially have Lowry, Hero, Oladipo, right? He's going to play another 34 minutes. Dyson Daniels starts, and he did play like a bunch of minutes, but it's like Dyson Daniels is also competing with Trey Murphy, and Najee Marshall, and like those wings, and potentially Herb Jones. So if there's no Herb Jones again, who Herb Jones is considered their best perimeter defender, their other best perimeter defender is Jose Alvarado,
who's 5'7".
Who's very small but very annoying, right? Like I think that's how he's been described. So yeah, I mean, I think there's another case that Jose Alvarado is going to play a whole bunch of minutes here.
Yeah, Rubio did play season high 17 minutes the other day. So maybe
solid 3 fantasy points.
Yeah, well, again, he's working his way into things, But the minute was at least there. Not playing him, I'm just cheering for the guy.
Right? Yeah. No. Rubio's a very solid. That's a very solid like mid-season acquisition, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be available to them.
Any other point guards?
Not that I see. No.
Okay. Shooting guard. Paul George's already ruled out. Donovan Mitchell's not likely to play.
I guess they put Terrence Mann back. We didn't mention Terrence Mann at point guard.
Sure. No George. No George.
No Paul George. Terrence Mann was pretty good last night too.
Does Kawhi play tonight? Do you think on the back-to-back? He's been
interesting.
He has played a back. He has.
I don't think he has
not played a back-to-back.
So I think what's interesting is they have 4 games this week. So if he doesn't play, he'll play 3 of the 4. But it's interesting that hasn't played a back-to-back. But it's interesting they ruled George out so quickly and not Kawhi.
Sure.
So maybe the window. We'll approach it like he's going to.
Sure.
Because remember, we talked about this earlier in the year where I was like so gung-ho on someone not playing a back-to-back and then they played.
Yeah, I think it was Jamal Murray.
I think it was Jamal Murray, the 5th and the 6th. So.
Yeah.
But like, if they're going to list Paul George out and not list Kawhi out, I think we at least leave the opportunity for him to
Sure. Play. Edwards has been questionable, but he'll play. He'll play.
Yeah, he hasn't missed a game. He was also horrible in the first half and then just...
Yeah.
No reason he's 8,700 unless they get blown out. But he's still playing big minutes in blood. So
yeah. Jalen Green at $7,800. I mean, again, no. Well, KBJ is questionable, right?
He's questionable. Yep, questionable. I don't think he practiced yesterday.
I don't see an update on that. Maybe you find it, but yeah, questionable to play here. Either way, it doesn't really impact Jalen Green all that much. He's going to take a bunch of shots.
I would not play him at 78. I think if Kevin Porter played, that's very expensive because we need like 40. Even
it's the matchup to get it.
It is the matchup to get it.
He's just not hitting his shots, right? Like he's got the volume, he's just not making them.
That's a fair point.
Bradley Beal is questionable. Maybe a return for Bradley Beal here. I don't know if I'd play him right away on a return.
Nah, I don't think we need
to. Let's see. Desmond Bane at 74. I'd be interested to see what his 3-point prop was. It was 2.5 the other day. He's been playing really well.
Desmond Bane is so good.
Yep. Rozier 74.
This could be a boom spot for Rozier. Shot just needs to fall.
Shots are back up, trending back up after that initial return from
Ball.
Yeah. Clarkson's been good. I guess we'll see if Markkanen plays or not today, right? Because he's missing the last handful of games there.
Yep.
Could be a great spot for our guy Walker. Maybe a great spot for our guy Walker Kessler anyways. So
it's probably a good spot.
We're definitely playing Sengun. We already know that. Charlotte.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield, a little revenge game maybe? He didn't play for them.
No, he didn't. No,
Pelicans.
Pelicans. Yeah. I mean, Buddy Hield's been... I think Buddy Hield is best when he has a very willing point guard to pass to. And, I mean, McConnell is that dude. So, Hield in tournaments. And what do we know about Buddy Hield, John? Nobody plays him.
Nobody ever plays him. And people will still probably not play him. They'll pivot to Powell. They'll pivot to Mathurin probably at 56 because they're cheaper. Kevin Porter at $5,400, I think, is a pretty interesting spot.
Yeah.
What do you make of the last 2 games for him, though? Is that just blowouts, the minutes? 22.
The Orlando game was a foul trouble game.
Okay.
And then they blew him out. And then Spurs, he was sick going into that game. And then Harry B took over. And then they just didn't put him back in. So I think maybe the illness was something that like he could have been struggling with.
Okay.
He's fine for tournaments. We know he can light it up.
Do you fade or follow the Karis LeVert chalk potential if Mitchell's ruled out?
I like 5,100. That's a good price.
Better than the 6K that he was.
Better than the 6, and he was paying it off. But this is a tough spot. Bane's a good defender. Brooks is a annoying defender. So You can 51. I can get behind for cash.
Troy Murphy's been shooting the ball better lately, but not the easiest matchup.
Yeah, and there's always the potential like all these guys could lose minutes as soon as Herb Jones. I tell you this all the time. Like me and you have different perceptions, I think, on Herb Jones.
Yeah, I don't think he's very good, but they do. So it is what it is.
He's very good defensively.
Right.
That's literally what he's there for, and he's just going to play over guys because of that.
Good.
So I think it will.
He might guard Najee Marshall though. Herb Jones. Sorry, they're on the same team. You're talking about minutes.
Just minutes. Yeah. Minutes. Yeah.
Any other shooting guards here?
KCP
maybe just for the minutes.
Yeah, KCP's been pretty good. You like all the other stats last night. Just didn't make any shots. 2 for 9. We mentioned the Sexton play. The Mavs been giving Jaden Hardy some run.
Yeah, I thought that was just because there was no Luka last night. But...
That's fair. He's like in their rotation. He's not in their rotation. I think that's it.
Sure.
I think that's it.
Obviously, if there are injuries or guys get ruled out, like it'll impact a lot of what we're talking about here.
Yep.
Small forward, you mentioned Kawhi, maybe in, maybe out. He's 10-3 with no Paul George. Would you pay the 10-3?
It's a dang good spot. Utah is not a very good. Possibly 10-3 is expensive though.
It is. He hasn't paid.
I think I'd rather get like Sabonis. I'd rather get to Jokic. I'd rather get to LeBron, Luka if I'm like prioritizing spend up. So
all right, Kuzma's at $8,200. Price come down on him here against the Knicks. If there's no Beal, would you pay the 82?
Tournaments.
Okay, tournaments. You mentioned Barnes. I mean, that guy's been it's been really good. He's been really good. $5,900 for Harry B against the Lakers. Powell, again, no George already. If there's no Kawhi. A decent spot. You mentioned Man. I didn't mean to skip over RJ. He's coming off 43 fantasy points. 49 minutes overtime game.
Yeah, I think that whole tier is like all in play. Powell is definitely in play if both those guys sit. Harry B needs to if he makes his shots, like he could do it again. But he's been also like almost literally unconscious. But all roads point to Kyle Anderson.
I'd say triple-double, 50 fantasy points for Kyle Anderson last game.
I mean, it's obviously not like he's not gonna turn into like James Harden suddenly, but he is someone who can fill it up in every category. So.
Yeah. Malik Beasley played 33 minutes again, all market independent. I'd play market in 94 if he's active too, by the way. So just
yeah, probably
if he's there. Jalen McDaniels, big game the other day out of him. 26 actual, 37 fantasy points. Gets that Houston spot at under 5K. That feels like a core play.
Yeah, is Hayward doubtful?
Yeah. Yep. Jalen McDaniels feels like a core play for me tonight.
Yeah, I think they also are potentially missing Cody Martin.
Okay.
Doubtful. So that's Cody Martin came back and started playing 20-something minutes a game, and that's just McDaniels is going to get plenty of time.
If KPJ is out, we go back to Eric Gordon. His scoring, he's for 4 games now this year without Kevin Porter. He scored over 19 actual in 3 of those 4 games. So he just makes buckets when Kevin Porter's out of the lineup there. So look at the free throws too. The last 2 games, no Kevin Porter. 19 free throw attempts for Eric Gordon there. So something to watch. $4,500 against Charlotte if no KPJ tonight for Eric Gordon is a really good, I think, option there. Let's see. Anybody else?
Him and KJ Martin, both 46-45. Both been starting and playing big minutes. Yep. Troy Brown is going to start for the Lakers. He's been playing big minutes. I don't know if we need to get there.
Never was the guy I hoped he would be.
Never was. And then I've been playing a little Reggie Bullock lately.
Okay.
They don't really raise the price. There's been more shot attempts. We saw a boom game. We're not going to ever see again 8 for 10 from 3. But if he goes 5 threes, like there's a chance that he gets us 25 to 30 fantasy points. He's starting. He's playing a bajillion minutes, and he gets to play with Luke Doncic.
What about your Jazz rookie tonight if there's no Lauri Markkanen?
Agbaji.
17 actual. You call. Listen, you know what? You got to take a victory lap when you can. You called him out of the podcast, min price. He plays a season high 31 minutes and he gets 17 actual. So
he's just like a good look. They drafted him. He spaces the floor well for them. And he's played 18 minutes or more in 7 straight games.
Yeah.
So if Markkanen is out, I would go back to that well, I think.
Low floor, obviously a low floor. He had 6 of 8 shots, but
right.
He, like you said, talent's there. They're starting to trust him a bit more.
I'd say the one issue is that Utah has in general is Horton Tucker plays 20 minutes the game before and then 8 minutes this game. Like they could very easily just swap roles. So it's like large field tournament play only for Agbaji.
Yep. Power forward. LBJ's at 11.5. Would you pay if he's active tonight? Do you pay 11,500 for LeBron?
His center eligibility.
He does have center eligibility.
Yeah, I would.
74, 64, 61. The guy.
He's
that guy. He's that guy.
He's older than every other player in the league.
Yeah, he's playing with sons now. Sons
Did you
of
see?
fathers.
So I don't know if you saw that. You saw the clip, right? The Jabari Smith clip.
Yeah.
The internet got on this quick. Jabari Smith Sr. was on that Kings team, John.
Yeah.
You know how many minutes Jabari Smith Sr. logged in that game?
0.
DMP.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a DMP, so.
Was Kenyon Martin on that team? I mean, like.
Kenyon Martin might not have been in the league at that point, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder how many father-son combos LeBron's now played up against, So. Julius Randle keeps doing Randle things. Those rebound numbers are insane.
Yep.
Went for 23 and 16 against Washington. I got to see what his rebound prop is for tonight. It's been 12.5. There's no way it was 12.5 for 3 straight days. There's no way it's at 12.5 again.
And he's done that in all but one slate in 8 games.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to be 13.5 or something like that here tonight. Buckets at 87. What did we talk about with Butler the other day? He can take over a game whenever he wants. 34 actual. He didn't give you much or anything else. 3, 1, and 2. 47 fantasy points for 34 points is not great, but 11 of 16, 11 from the line. He's just always capable of doing that. So you can put him in a tournament lineup or cash game lineup maybe even and just kind of roll with it there. Zinger in New York. This is the revenge game, right? Going back to Madison Square Garden.
He's getting booed. He's gonna get booed out of that place.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to be there. So, $8,900 for him. If you want to play, you can. Triple J. Tough spot for Jaren Jackson here today, but he generally just does well lately. So,
he's gonna win defensive player. Yeah. This is
put
your defensive player of the year bets in now.
Yeah, him or Claxton, who gets it right? Another big block performance out of Claxton last night.
Yeah. After first half of foul trouble, comes back and has 4 blocks in the second half.
Yep. Jackson, got to deal with Mobley and Allen though at 75.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Gordon's been really good.
If Murray sits, right? If there's someone that Denver sits, like they've won 8 games in a row. Like we actually saw Jokic sit the other day. Like there's potential rest possibilities. Michael Porter Jr. had a big game last night. We can go back to him too.
Scoring only though. He just needs to do doing more.
I agree, but I'm just saying if there's people out,
sure.
I'm
Yep.
Really good spot against Minnesota.
We're gonna say most of all Charlotte, Houston's in play. PJ Washington, Jabari Smith, they're both fine.
Yep.
Marcus Morris and Paul George at 4,800. I like Naz Reid if Gobert is out, which I imagine he's gonna be out, if not already out. He is questionable, but he only played 5 minutes in that game after hurting his groin again. So I can't.
Yep. Well, he was watching Walker Kessler just beat him.
Yeah, it would be weird to see him play, but we'll watch that one. My guy DeAndre Hunter's at 5K still, just out here doing his thing. So can play that route. Any other power forward value for you?
Power forward value. I was going to say Neesmith plays 25 minutes a game if you want to go there.
Back-to-back 20-minute games for Tari Eason. Can we get a little, please?
Tari Eason. Probably not on this slate, but I do agree. Get the guy some run,
minutes,
please.
Man. What are we doing? Come on.
I don't see anything if you. Also, I'm looking at Reggie Bullock. I'm gonna pull back a little bit. I forgot Finney Smith and Josh Green both expected a return.
Sure. Covington only played 7 minutes last night. He did get in foul trouble, but no Paul George, right?
Yep, like, I think that's the key. I think we talked about it yesterday, and then I talked about it in Discord. As soon as I saw Paul George in, I said it in Discord. I was like, no, because that moves Batum back to the bench.
Yeah.
And now Batum becomes your
Covington.
Rob Covington, right. So now Paul George out, Batum's going to start again.
Yeah.
Covington back in play 20-plus minutes. So, don't be worried about last night with Covington. He'll be back in the rotation, assuming.
I think 3,600 is a good spot there. All right, center. Joker, of course, 11-4. You're not going to tell you not to play the man. The guy is insane. 73 fantasy points last night going up against Portland, 36, 12, and 10. Triple doubles in 4 of the last 5 games. So, yeah, he's good. He's good. He went for 24, 7, and 9 against Minnesota earlier this year. If there is no Gobert, even.
He's gonna destroy.
Isn't that video, right? Gobert was trying to guard him 1-on-1, and he's like, "Brother, I have 60 or something like that."
Yeah, that was the Jamal Murray interview.
It
was the Jamal Murray interview. He's like, "Brother, I have already scored 35."
It's like, I don't need help. I don't need help. Yeah. So, if you don't, go watch it. Google Jamal Murray, Gobert, or Jokic story or something like that.
Yeah, hilarious.
It's hilarious. Yeah. Gobert's trying to guard him 1-on-1. Joker's like, hasn't worked yet. What are you doing? Sabonis at 10-5 again. Kind of mini Joker at this point.
Yeah, mini Joker, agreed.
So you're getting a little discount there against the Lakers. Let's see here. Would you go Bam against J-Val? Valanciunas isn't really a great defender. He's just a big dude. Bam's been great.
Yeah, J-Val's been great too, by the way.
J-Val's been
great.
All those lead to your guy though, who had one of the best performances, maybe of his career.
That was the best of his career.
70 fantasy points. He hit the first 8 shots of the game. They just kept on throwing it into him, and Thomas Bryant had 0 answer. 33, 15, 6, and 4. Also had 5 fouls because it's a Sengun game.
That's part of the package right there.
Yeah. Chalk City probably today here after that game in this matchup.
And now get Charlotte. And right. Yeah, I mean, look.
Great spot for 3 early. That's what I'm saying. Right?
Yeah. I think I like it better if Kevin Porter's out because I think the offense just flows through him more naturally. Sure. I think, look, I'm going to say it.
I play the over assist because look at those assist numbers are crazy right now.
Dude, I've said it to you before. He reminds me, and I know it's floating around the internet, but I've thought it for a little while. If we're talking about mini Jokic's, he is Jokic-like. He does everything. He's probably better shot blocker. This was Jokic in the beginning of his career where he's just too aggressive defensively. He picks up cheap fouls. There's no reason for some of them. You're like, what are you doing? Yeah. Now you have 3 fouls and you have to sit the rest of the half. As long as that doesn't happen in this spot, he should dominate because it's the best spot for centers. Don't love the price, but there's 70-point fantasy upside. I would really prefer if Kevin Porter was out, to be perfectly honest.
Yep. Speaking of dominating performances, Miles Turner against Milwaukee went for 38, 2 and 4 blocks. Now he gets the Thunder here today, 7,100. No Halliburton again, so like that price a lot for Miles Turner here.
Can't wait for 28 minutes, but I agree.
I hope not.
So ready for it.
30 and 35 minutes for Valanciunas. Do they just keep him on the floor here against Miami?
That's a question that we don't have answers to.
We don't have answers to. Cover of the podcast the other day, Jared Allen, 52 fantasy points, 24, 11, 5, a block and 2 steals.
I mean, there's never a reason he should be under 6K.
No. That was way too easy. Thoughts on him against Steven Adams tonight?
Tough spot. But no Mitchell. I think, let's see, 1.16 fantasy points per minute without Mitchell this year. Mm-hmm. You know what the most interesting thing is for Jared Allen? 7.5% usage bump, which is insane to see for Jared Allen.
Because he's not a shooter.
23.7% usage without Donovan Mitchell. Those are massive numbers for a center who's not known for offense. I don't know, man. Those are pretty eye-popping numbers. And compare, what is his ownership going to be compared to Sengun and Miles Turner above him, right?
Or even Mason Plumlee, who's
dude, oh my god.
I mean, that guy 15, 16, 12 rebounds. Guy's been best basketball of his career, I think. Right
this is trade stock. Like, if Charlotte doesn't deal him like tomorrow, they are
averaging
missing the
vote. The last 5 games, he's averaging 16.6 points, 12.6 rebounds, 3.4 assists. Like, you have Mark Williams sitting on the bench. Trade Mason Plumlee. Like, get Mark Williams in your lineup here. You're the worst team in the NBA. There's no reason to be playing Mason Plumlee. Yep. So you have Nick Richards on the bench too. Nick Richards has flashed some things at times. Like, let the young kids play. Great spot for Plumlee here. Anybody else, I guess, in the under 6K that jumping out to you? I mean, Mitch Robb, I guess, just for block potential. Walker Kessler obviously, at 54 against the Clippers. 30 and 32 minutes. As long as Olynyk's out, he should be getting this type of minute run.
Yep.
But usage may be helping with no market in the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kessler we're just officially gonna enter in that like Kelly a lot. This is the.
Can we play 3 centers today or no? Like, can we?
Drew, I know, right? I know. This is the Drew Bledsoe Tom Brady here.
Could be.
Kelly Olynyk was Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
And he's never going to start.
I said this with Adam Ronis on the playbook on Better Sports Network on Monday, that they should have Kelly Olynyk come off the bench. It's like, have him come back, and your bench rotation is now Collins, Sexton, Malik Beasley, and Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah, it's super scary.
All offense right there, right? Just 3 guys coming off the bench scoring a bunch of buckets. So, or at least spacing the floor enough to score a bunch of buckets. So I thought that would be a pretty good bench floor. So
sure would
keep Walker Kessler there in the starting lineup.
I don't think there's anything else. I mean, you could
Nas
probably.
Reed, but it's a tough spot against Denver if there's no Gobert.
Yeah, I think he'll be pretty popular regardless. And if you want to be different, Luka Garza has been the team's 3rd center.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at Luka Garza, he played 18 minutes when Nas Reed got in foul trouble, and I believe Gobert was out that game. 20-something fantasy points. So, like, if you want to be, like, really different,
well,
if there's no Gobert.
I'm a Luka Garza guy, so...
Yeah, just throwing that out there.
He's the college player of the year, and he goes to the NBA, like, can't even find the floor. It's so weird how that translates like that, so... all right, build our lineups here. Sengun. And what center are we using in our util here?
I'm so happy you've...
Are we using Kessler or Plumlee? It's probably Kessler, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's cheaper. All right, 6,100. We're gonna go LaMelo. We'll just get that one out of the way.
As long as we get McConnell in the guard spot.
Yeah, that's fine. McConnell, 55. That works perfectly. We have 5,400. About 5,500 a player for a shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and a forward. Let's see here.
We play LeVert. We could play Buddy Hield.
LeVert works at
Colin Sexton at shooting guard.
We don't
know the.
I got LeVert at shooting guard.
Works. Jalen McDaniels, small forward.
Yeah, Jalen McDaniels.
Or I mean, I would say we also have the option to pivot to one of the Rockets if we find out the status of Kevin Porter.
Sure. I mean, Eric Gordon, right? I mean, at 40.
I probably wouldn't play Gordon at 45 if Kevin Porter played, but I would definitely.
That would give us a $7,300 forward if we included Gordon in the lineup. So, but we'll take him out for now. $5,900 for a power forward, small forward, whatever one we want, because McDaniels has dual eligibility. So,
Terrence Mann, DeAndre Hunter.
Mann's good. I like Mann. So we'll go Mann at small forward. We'll go McDaniels at power forward. And then
62 or something?
61 for a forward play. Mobley, Harrison Barnes has been really good.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have exposure to a game that has 245 total, so.
Okay, that works.
I'm okay with Harry.
Example lineup right there. LaMelo Ball, Karis LeVert, Terrence Mann, Jalen McDaniels, Alperen Sengun, TJ McConnell, Harrison Barnes, Walker Kessler is our Lambo that we're running with right here. Dylan Clemens is on your playbook today. James and I will be available in the Discord if you have any questions, and we will catch you guys later.